Hello! So, it's been a while. I am an expert in procrastination. That's just who I am as a person. The last time I posted that video was filmed in January. I had a video filmed, which I filmed in I think March or April, but it has obviously been a while since then. And the video was just kind of boring, so I scrapped it. And obviously the world has changed a lot since then. And I don't wish to come off as disingenuous, but I just want to say that I am completely in support of the Black Lives Matter movement, and it's obvious that things have to change. So for my fellow white people, there is just so much work to be done, and it's not enough to express your outrage on social media. It is something to continue to share resources, but you must actually use these resources and use your own power to go out there and make changes. So, sign petitions, contact your representatives, demand that the police be defunded. There is so much that we can do, and it is not enough to just share on social media. And educate yourself. Educate yourself. Do the work yourself. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a reading vlog for this week. It is currently Monday, and I'm probably going to try to vlog every day until Friday. Yeah, so my life is not actually that interesting right now because where I live, we are still social distancing. I know things are starting to open back up, but my workplace is not yet open because I work at an ice rink. So yeah, I'm not working right now, which means I'm doing a lot of reading. And I have returned to my roots of reading several books at once, which I used to do as a kid, and usually I don't have the attention span for, but now that I'm at home all the time, I do. So, an introduction to what I will be reading this week. So in physical copies we have The Disenchantments by Nina LaCour, which has been on my shelf for roughly 5 years. I picked this up because I honestly don't remember at this point, but I know that I read Hold Still while I was in high school and really enjoyed that, so that is probably why I picked this up. I'm about halfway through, so hopefully I will finish that sometime within the next few days and choose something else to read. So it's about this band of 3 girls plus their friend Colby who go on tour after graduating high school, and just this transition period in their life and how they're all dealing with it. I am also reading The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan as a reread with my friend Brophy, whose channel I will link down below. I love this series. It's very nostalgic to me. It's interesting now to read it and look back and say like, wow, Rick Riordan has really grown a lot, because there are some things in this book that I'm like, wow, that phrasing is a little yikes. But I am enjoying the book despite that, just recognizing its issues, We are also a little over halfway through this book. We're reading 2 chapters a day. So I don't think we'll quite be done with it by the end of this reading vlog, but we'll be getting close. The final physical book that I'm reading is The New Jim Crow, which is about mass incarceration in the United States and how much of an issue it is that just doesn't get talked about, and it is steeped. It's not even steeped in systemic racism, it is systemic racism. This is extremely eye-opening. I would highly recommend it. I just have to reiterate for my fellow white people, do the work, educate yourself. It is so important. We cannot sit here and be idle. That is just unacceptable. So, I'm taking this slowly as a read just so that I can fully appreciate and actually absorb what I'm reading. Over the course of my university career, I have found that when I take notes while I'm reading something, I retain the information much better. So I've been taking notes to engage with the text, so it's taking me a little bit longer. I'm also reading some books on ebook, but I usually do that while I'm laying in bed supposed to be asleep. So I guess I'll talk about that if I make any major progress, but it's really not that interesting. It does not make up the bulk of my reading. So, that is a very long-winded introduction to my reading vlog. I'm sure I will have a delightful time editing this down. Yes, that does it. Let's get into reading. So I'm reading The Disenchantments, as I mentioned, and it's pretty entertaining. I mean, the writing is nice enough. I feel like I like road trip stories. My major issue with it is that I wasn't exactly anticipating there being any romantic aspect just from the summary. And there definitely is, like, of course the guy in the story is super interested in one of the members of the band, and the way he talks about her, just like, I'm not super comfortable with it. He's very fixated on a physical relationship and it's just making me uncomfortable. I don't quite like the idea that the only thing he's interested in is them together. Something about the way it's written also makes me feel like he doesn't exactly want a future where they're just friends, and it's just a little uncomfy for me. Yeah, so that's my major issue. I'll get back to you as I continue with the story to see if it gets any better. Okay, so I'm just gonna do my final update for the day real quick. I apologize if you can hear noise from downstairs. My mom is watching TV. It's 10:30. I'll be up for a while longer, but I'm just gonna go ahead and film this now so that I can edit this part of the footage later today. So I read quite a bit today so far. I read 50 pages of The Disenchantment. I continue to have the same issues that I had with it earlier. There was recently a sex scene, which, I mean, it was fine. It was nicely written enough, but again, I'm like, I don't really want to read this if I'm not invested in the couple. I've liked kind of the issues that the characters have been having since then. I feel like there's more things that are coming into the open now. I'm excited to see where the rest of the story goes. I have about 100 pages left to the book, so I'll read more of that later and hopefully finish it tomorrow and let you guys know my thoughts. I say you guys as if there are going to be so many people watching this. You 20 of you guys. I read about 10 pages of the new Jim Crow. I might read more of that when I go downstairs. We'll have to see. It continues to be eye-opening. If you haven't done so yet, please educate yourself about the prison industrial complex and mass incarceration in the United States. And I also read 2 chapters of Percy Jackson today, which just continues to be delightful. I feel like I'm always surprised by what happens in each book because I forget when certain events happen. The books tend to involve around some sort of quest, so there are different kind of scenes, I would say, wherein the characters go to different locations and have different experiences. And I remember a lot of those scenes but don't remember exactly when they happen, and I feel like a lot more is happening in the first book than I remember I would have attributed to later books. It's fun, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, so that's it for me. I'm going to go downstairs and relax for a bit and then edit some footage, and I'll be back with you tomorrow. Okay, so I am back at it again in the great outdoors. It is Tuesday. Don't really have any plans for today, as always, because I don't do anything. So I'm going to read and I'm going to go for a run because apparently in quarantine I became a runner because the ice rinks are closed. So I have become the thing that I fear the most. But yeah, I'm gonna get to reading. Right now I'm reading like Alright, so it is currently 1 a.m. and I literally just finished The Disenchantment, and it wrapped itself up really well. I feel like the last 50 or so pages are really coloring my interpretation of it because I didn't cry, but I teared up at the end. Like, the way it wrapped itself up was very good, even though I didn't necessarily like different elements of the book. So I think it's probably going to come in at like 3.5 stars for me. I don't know, I'll sleep on it. I also read 2 chapters of Percy Jackson, and we read today the chapter where they get stuck in the Lotus Hotel, which was funny to me to read because it's one of those things where, like, as a kid it's described as like such a place where I thought it would be the coolest place to go as a kid. Like, there are so many video games and indoor bungee jumping and a water slide and all that, and it just sounds like so much fun. So I'll be reading 2 more chapters of that tomorrow. To replace the Disenchantments, I will be picking up A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown that literally just arrived in the mail today. And I'm so excited to read it because, I mean, the cover's beautiful and the synopsis also just sounds right up my alley. So I'm super excited to get started on that. And also, Roseanne Brown apparently went to the University of Maryland, which is where I graduated from, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, as I said, it's 1:15 in the morning, so I might try to get a little bit of editing done on this, but mostly I'm just tired, so I'll probably go to sleep. Hello everyone, it's Wednesday, June 17th, so I just thought I'd check in and give you guys a little plan for my day. Once again, there's not really much going on. It's going to rain later, so I'm gonna go on my run earlier than usual, so, you know, shaking things up. I might make a drive-up order for Target. Maybe you guys can drive along with me in the car. Very, very exciting things here. I am, as I mentioned last night, starting A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I'm gonna eat my piece of peanut butter and honey toast and get to reading. And I'll see you guys later. Alright, hello. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to Target to pick up a Target drive-up order. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't gotten much reading done today because I'm kind of in a bad mood and I don't really know why. Let's go ahead and attribute it to the fact that my headphones broke while I was on my run, which kind of destroyed my will to continue on said run. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of a gray day, weird day, very tired today for some reason. So I'm driving to Target. Maybe that'll wake me up a little bit, having someone carry my Target goods out to the car and deliver them to me. It's not the same as a good old-fashioned Target run, but it'll do. Yeah, just wanted to do a midday check-in. Hopefully I'll get more reading done and probably check in again later at night, but I might not if I just don't read that much. Hello folks, I'm sure you will all be shocked to discover that I have yet another uninteresting day in the life plan today. I'm gonna go for a run, I'm gonna read, and that's about it. So I'll keep you guys updated on my progress as the day goes along. First step is reading the 2 chapters of The Lightning Thief that Brophy and I are reading today, and then I'm gonna continue with A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. So far it's been kind of a slow start, but I feel like that's the case with all new fantasy series. So I'm already intrigued by the world building, and I'm just kind of accepting the fact that there's not going to be a ton of action right away. Already it's kind of picking up, so I'm excited to see how things continue from here, and I will check in with you guys again later. Hello friends, it is 3 a.m. on the dot on Thursday, although I suppose now it's Friday. So I'm truly revealing myself and my true sleep habits to you in this moment. I could give the excuse that I had to put in a load of laundry because I did have to do that, but I'd be awake at 3 a.m. anyway, honestly, so this is just who I am as a person. Today ended up being another slow reading day. I did get through the 2 chapters of The Lightning Thief that I'm reading with Brophy today. We're getting really close to the end. Tomorrow is the last 2 chapters, so I'm excited for that, and then we'll move on to Sea of Monsters. And I think we're also going to FaceTime and watch the movie together and just absolutely roast it to pieces. So that I'm really excited about. I also read about 15 more pages of The New Jim Crow, so I only have a handful of pages left to read tomorrow, which is good because I'm actually going somewhere tomorrow, which is why I'm cutting this reading vlog off then. Yeah, I didn't get much reading done today because I played Dungeons & Dragons with my friends tonight and we ended up chatting for a while. After that, I made them listen to all the issues that I have with the Captain America movie, so that was fun. I literally wrote my senior thesis on that and I whipped it out to have this discussion. I don't know, fun times. And I did read a few pages of A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, but it really was not super significant progress. So I'm going to try to get more of that read tomorrow so I can give more of my thoughts on it. Yeah, so sorry this hasn't been more exciting. I guess I had delusions of grandeur with this entire thing, but maybe I'll spice it up in some way tomorrow. I probably won't. Yeah, talk to you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it is Friday, it's 2:50 p.m. and I'm just gonna film a little wrap up now because I have somewhere to be at 4. So I'm just gonna let you know what I read and then what I plan to read through the weekend. So first of all, I did finish up the Disenchantments during this reading vlog period, as I already mentioned. I'm sticking with a 3-star rating, even though I did like the ending and the overall message it ended up sending. I was just super uncomfortable with the romance, as I mentioned, because the dude just like could not stop talking about the girl he was interested in. He was like, her breasts are so perfect. I was like, would you please chill out? I don't want to read this. So yeah, I really liked, because they were all a really transitionary period in their lives and they didn't quite know what the future was going to hold and they were still trying to figure that out. And I really liked that aspect, but I really did not like the way this guy was super obsessed with the girl, so 3 stars it is. I did read through chapter 3 of The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander, which once again, I could not recommend more because I'm learning so much. It's horrifying and it's sad to read, but it's important that you educate yourself. I'm going to leave a link in the description below to the Black Lives Matter card, which you might have seen already, but it has a ton of resources about places you can donate, places you can educate yourself, petitions you should sign. Yeah, so Mr. John Sarbanes, check your email inbox. I have some messages coming to you. I'm also finishing up The Lightning Thief for my read along with Brophy today. I haven't quite finished it. I have the final 2 chapters to read, but from what I remember, a lot of the intrigue has already happened. There's a big reveal that's coming, but I already know that it's coming because I've read these books before. Nonetheless, it's such an enjoyable series. If you're looking for a nostalgic childhood series to reread that isn't written by a certain turf we all know, I recommend the Percy Jackson series. It's bringing me a lot of joy. I feel like this, more than any other series that I read as a child, was something that I really bonded with my friends over just because it's so funny. So it's something that we joked about together, you know. After the Disenchantments, I picked up A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown. I don't think I've showed this in this video, but like, just look at this cover. This is honestly one of the most stunning covers that I've seen in a long time. I have made it to the beginning of chapter 5, which is page 61. Things are starting to pick up. It's still a little bit of a slow start because we're still in that stage of a new fantasy series where you're establishing the world and doing a lot of world building, which is necessary, but kind of it's just a difficult stage always for me to get through. But it's nice that action has always been mixed in with there, so there is a lot of like explaining the world and what's happening, but you also get elements of action. I can already tell that I'm going to love these characters. They're very complex. Something that I really appreciated is that the author did include a list of trigger warnings at the beginning, which I think is important and something that needs to be done more often in young adult fiction, and I hope, or fiction in general, honestly, and I hope this becomes more of a standard practice. Yeah, excited to continue reading this weekend, but today is the start of Queer Blackathon, so I'm going to be taking kind of a pause on the other books that I'm reading to pick up books that feature queer characters and may be written by queer authors. This readathon is hosted by Francina Simone, Mayana Reads, The Novel Lush, and Bowties and Books. I'm super excited to participate in this. I have a goal of 2 books. I'm kind of a slow reader and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it through, especially because one of them I picked up as an ebook from my library, and I generally don't read ebooks super fast. But I did start reading last night at midnight. The first book I picked up is Freshwater by Akweke Emezi. This was recommended in Bowties and Books' recommendation video, which I think you should check out, so I will link that video down below also. It's really interesting so far, and it's kind of about having different parts of yourself, a fractured self, because our main character Ada is essentially born with gods residing inside of her. So it's very interesting. I'm only 1 chapter in so far, but I'm super excited to see where this goes. I believe So I'm reading it as an ebook, but according to Goodreads, the hardcover is 230 pages, which isn't too much at all, so I should be able to get through that in 2 days, especially because I'm just going to be relaxing this weekend, so I'm hoping to get a lot of reading time. And as a physical book, I'm going to pick up I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver, which was gifted to me by Brophy several months ago. I started this while I was still at school, but it's going to hit very close to home for me. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this, but I identify as non-gender. I'm agender, I use they them pronouns, and I feel like I'm going to relate a lot to the main character of this book, Ben. So I did not want to read that while I was going through the stress of school, but I'm excited to read it now. Oh yeah, so I'm super excited to pick this up. I'm ready to cry. This is also fairly short. It is a little over 300 pages, so hopefully I should be able to get through that in 2 days and definitely by the end of this weekend. That's my reading plan for this weekend, and then I will hop back into A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. Yeah, so that's gonna do it for me. I hope you enjoyed watching this reading vlog. I hope it wasn't too boring. I tried to spice it up with some interesting footage of me making a smoothie. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.